Well, we came to own Fred Rock. Misty is a real estate agent, and she was in town paying the electric bill. And she came out, and this lady said, "My neighbor needs to talk to someone. Are you the real estate lady?" And so Misty gave her a card, and she called, and it ended up being this property.
Whenever I came out to see the property, the wheels started turning. I called my mom. She wasn't in town at the time, and it was exciting to think about. We definitely sat on it for a bunch of agents started coming out and looking at the property, and we kind of started panicking and decided, okay, let's do it. I had 2 Airbnbs already going, one on the St. Francis River and one on the Castor River, and they were doing so good and we were having fun with it. So we just decided to go for it.
I grew up here.
Okay.
My mom, dad, cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone's still here.
I spent all of my summers growing up. When school would get out in May, my mom would bring me to Grandma and Grandpa's house in Fredericktown, and I would spend the whole summer here playing in these creeks and rivers. And then I moved away and went off to California, did my thing out there for about 18 years, and I started missing my grandma and grandpa, so I decided to move back to Fredericktown and spend some time with them while they were still young enough and knew who I was. And yeah, that's how I ended up back here.
An 18-year-old single mom, and moved away from Fredericktown pretty much as quickly as I could. I had one of my best friends move to Fort Worth, Texas, and I went to see her on vacation and never came back. I still own a home and a business in Texas, near Houston. It's a day spa that I've owned for 28 years.
In California, I was a hairdresser for the whole time I lived there, and decided whenever I moved back here I didn't want to do hair anymore. So I got my real estate license while I was living in California. That way I had it whenever I got back to Fredericktown so I could start doing real estate here. So when I was living in San Diego, it kind of got to the point where every chance I got, I was getting out of the city, I was going to the country, I was going camping, I was going hiking, I was planning all these backpacking trips.
Basically what we bought was 33 acres with this crystal clear, beautiful river running through it. COVID summer, basically, we had divine timing. We bought the property in January of 2020, right before COVID hit. I was actually in Africa on safari and got sent home. So my COVID summer was working here with my daughter on this property, clearing trails and using the chainsaw and getting the RV spots all fixed up. We do as much as we can ourselves, and we love supporting the community. We love hiring local people, and we have a really good support system. All right, the Gypsy Wagon was kind of my project. The Rustic Rose was Misty's brain. It was her idea. But I fell in love with that Gypsy Wagon, and mostly because of the ceiling. You know, I'd had that old bedspread, for years, and then just putting it all together and creating our little Tipsy Gypsy was just a labor of love.
When I was in California, I was like wanting to maybe open like a little tea shop or a little champagne bar and have it with a similar pink and gold decor. That never happened. It's a little bit more expensive out there. So when we got Fred Rock, the cabin that the Rustic Rose is in was already there. So I had already started collecting things for it, the pink couches, the dishes, and that. So whenever I had the canvas to work with, it was exciting to see like my vision come to life.
The Silver Bullet tour bus, I saw it on Facebook Marketplace was it in Indiana? In Indiana. So I was at a van meetup and decided to swing back by there and just take a look at it. And kind of immediately fell in love with it, but realized it was a lot of work too. So I sat on the idea for a little bit, and I got a call from the owner saying, we've had a lot of interest in it, and I wanted to give you first dibs. So I negotiated with them to drive that bus here as part of the purchase price of it. And the owners' names are Aaron and Julie. We're friends. They came to my van meetup last year, and they love seeing what we've done with the bus.
With Daisy, the Groovy Camper, was super fun to do. My mom sent me a few ideas. We've had this camper. We didn't really know what we wanted to do with it. And then when I saw her inspiration pictures, I was like, oh yes, we're definitely doing that. So we got online and started ordering all the orange and yellow and crazy groovy stuff that we could find and put it all together, and it turned out, I love it. It's awesome.
Bought the shiny Twinkie from this guy in Farmington, and when he bought that Airstream, he did a lot of the renovations and everything, and he thought that he would never sell it. And then they ended up moving so they could be closer to their grandkids and stuff, and That shiny Twinkie, it's like, the idea is that you walked into a time capsule. Like you walked into 1967.
So here at 12 Mile Creek, my favorite thing is the water is crystal clear. It's like you just want to, there's no smell, there's nothing. You just want to pick up, you could literally get a cup and just like drink out of it. It's so beautiful, it's so clear, and yeah, I love 12 Mile Creek's water.
Whenever we bought this property, we were walking around the property with Ron, the previous owner, and he was, telling us about this and that. And one of the things he said is, don't forget to enjoy the place. So Misty and I will be out here working, mowing grass or cutting, limbs or doing whatever we do. And once in a while, one of us will look at the other one and go, let's go enjoy the place. So we get our suits on and head down to the swimming hole. And the swimming hole, first of all, it's so refreshing when you've been outside working and you're hot. But the other thing that the swimming hole does is that water, like if you're stressed out, the water is almost like a reset button. Like you go down there and immerse yourself in that river, and it's revitalizing and just sets a reset button.
And for the property, we're always plotting and scheming. We don't ever want the property to feel crowded, so we don't want to add hundreds of RV sites or anything like that, but definitely probably 3 more unique stays. And we want to do a community center, like a common area. So we've been kind of playing around with some different designs for that. So hopefully that's happening in the near future.
So on the property, for instance, we have a big yoga retreat that's happening this weekend. Next weekend we have a wedding. The weekend after that we have a big van meetup. My name is Beverly Brown, and I'm the co-owner of this property along with my daughter.
And California has a lot of beautiful things. I mean, the mountains, Mount Whitney is there, and the sequoias, and there's a lot within a short drive, but I wouldn't trade it. I love what I'm doing out here now, though. My name is Misty Brown, and I am the manager and owner of Fred Rock.